So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. It's the Maxton Hall Season 2 finale, so the gloves are coming off.
Dann gibst du nicht auf.
Hi, I'm Lady Genevieve, and on my channel I talk about entertainment media. Today I'm going to be reviewing Maxton Hall Season 2, Episode 6. So what happened? Drama, betrayal, a frame job, among other things. Oh, and Cyril's still a loser. I'll rub it in because the show keeps trying to make him sympathetic, and I refuse to be swayed. But let's start from the very beginning. A very good place to start. Truly, I haven't rewatched that film in years, but when you watch something enough times in your childhood, it seeps into your DNA. Lexington is on the phone with whom I would assume to be Mortimer, after all. Mortimer showed up for the disciplinary hearing where they questioned Graham and did the most goofy, predictable, not a plot twist that they're going to be scapegoating Ruby. Now, Lexington at no point is expressing concern for the fact that a child, I don't care if some of these students might be 18 years old, you haven't graduated yet to be able to go to university, you're a child. A child has seemingly been preyed upon by a grown adult man who is a member of your school's staff, and your only concern is your career. We, the collective we, are not mean enough to men who enable predatory dynamics, men who don't care about the well-being of children, men who will expel a girl whom you believe to be in an inappropriate relationship with her teacher. See, I read the James Connolly reader this year, and it made me want to be meaner to people who uphold and enforce oppressive status quos, and that's exactly who Lexington is. James blows off the important investors meeting, which, yes, disobey your father at any and every opportunity because he's the worst, I love to see it, but doing so for the sake of Cyril. My antagonism towards Cyril is not just about committing to the bit at this point, or because he never apologized for throwing Ruby in the pool where she could have died. It's that at every opportunity to be less terrible, he doubles down. If you're a fellow on this show, and your names are not Ruby Bell's father, Alistair, or James Beaufort, I suppose, though I will have words for him in a moment, then you need to leave. To where? To the interior of a volcano. Because when Cyril loses the game, what's the first thing he does? Blame Ruby Bell. And lest we not forget, he put Lydia at risk by taking a picture of her with Graham, and he's still pretending to be friends with Lydia. Jail is not enough. He needs to go into the ground. Feed him to a velociraptor. But Lady Genevieve, velociraptors are extinct. Yes, and Cyril is a fictional character, so what's your point? In my fantasy, Cyril is getting fed, feet first, to a velociraptor, and I'm living on Pandora. Or actually, have any of you seen Vincenzo? The finale, the way they got rid of the big bad of that show, do that to most of the men on Maxton Hall. Because you know what I've had? Enough, starring Jennifer Lopez. Maybe the therapy worked a little too well because James is being too nice and too compassionate to Cyril. He's still trying to make a friendship work. With a sinking ship, the iceberg has been struck. It's time to put your life vest on, James. I beg your finest pardon, because James heard loser Cyril blame his mediocre sports playing on Ruby Bell, the love of your life, and you didn't smack him up. We know that old James had a problem with being a bit too emotionally reactive, but if season 3 does not deliver James smacking the hell out of Cyril, and Lydia and Ruby and Lynn can all get in on that as well, by the way, everyone can have a turn. The thing you need to remember about Maxton Hall is that despite the short seasons and the fact that season 3 is the end, they have demonstrated the ability to plan ahead. I rewatched season 1 right before I watched my season 2 press screeners for the first time because I needed to have my memory refreshed. And when I watched that episode where James hires the exotic dancers to disrupt the event that Ruby had planned, he was the one who took that picture of Ruby with Graham Sutton, and that reminded me that not only did this happen, but also the fact that when I saw that happen for the first time, I had immediately thought, well, that's obviously going to come back into play. But then we finished season 1, and it had not been brought up again, only for it to now finally come back up as the key to inciting the main dramatic escalations of the 11th hour of the season 2 finale. All of that to say that Cyril has been a rotten tomato since season 1. He's still being horrible to all of my girls, Ruby, Lydia, and Lynn for some reason, so I don't care if he's shooting a nose spray ad tomorrow. You need to handle him.
Oh! Shit, Bianca, I'm shooting a nose spray ad tomorrow!
And the fact that he was the one to take that picture of Lydia with Graham. Do you really think that that information is not going to come back into play? Do you really think that these writers who waited until a season later, they made viewers wait an entire year to see the Ruby picture come back onto the scene? You don't think they have plans for that reveal? Lydia, my sweet, kind-hearted baby, let me teach you a very important lesson. Solar plex, instep, nose, groin.
Solar plexus, instep, nose, groin!
If they try to redeem Cyril in season 3, I am going to need someone to write a fix-it fic of Cyril getting jumped by the girls. You had your chance, James. Loser Cyril spoke ill of your lady love, and you didn't immediately handle it. Do the girls have to do everything ourselves?
First of all, it's not a stupid soccer issue, and you're a jerk. Oh, look at that! Time's up!
This review is basically Lady Genevieve drags most of the men on this show for 10 minutes straight because now that everything's been revealed, at least for this season anyway, I don't have to talk circles around what's coming up in future episodes. We're all on the same page at this point of waiting to see season 3. So anytime someone has tried to be understanding of this or that character in season 2 and view their behavior through a lens of empathy, understanding, and compassion, if this was real life, okay. These are fictional characters. I don't owe them an excessive amount of emotional labor. What do you mean Elaine's father is airing out relationship drama of teenagers in an important business meeting? Go join Cyril in the Losers Club, and not the Stephen King kind, the Mick Scoresby kind. That's an Avatar reference. The girls who get it, get it. How's your hand, Scoresby? I thought you were the intelligent species.
It's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, me too.
And we're all in agreement, right? That Mortimer put a fake will out. What is this, My Lady Jane? I just reacted to that, by the way. It's on my Patreon. Well, the first 3 episodes are available to the Angels tier, and the first episode is available to the Cool Writers tier.
That is Lady Jane Grey.
Oh, I never thought I would be happy to see her mother, and yet here we are.
I shall have those men flogged to death.
I'm actually okay with that. I'm hoping that Aunt Ophelia will be more involved in season 3 because her introduction at Cordelia's funeral was so promising. It seemed like she was going to be an important ally to James and Lydia in this battle against their supervillain father. But then we barely saw her again until the reading, which didn't happen until episode 6, the season finale. Now, personally, ideologically, as a viewer existing in real life and not in a work of fiction, I don't care about this company. It could crash and burn for all I care. I think James and Lydia should be able to build lives for themselves, careers of their own choosing, instead of this disgusting generational wealth, shortcut to being a boss type of material that getting the company back would entail. However, I also love to see their father lose. So if getting the company back from him will devastate him, preferably leading to him being in prison or in the ground, then I say go for it. Get your company back. It's a work of fiction, so make Mortimer Beaufort suffer. Do you think Percy knows something? Because that dramatic shot of him outside, I feel like he's sitting on the bench right now, but the writers are going to put him in the game in a whole new way in season 3. Now that's purely speculation on my part, but it feels like a situation where these cartoonishly evil rich people are just assuming that their workers are never going to move against them, or that their workers would never reveal their secrets. But excuse you, if the workers know where the proverbial bodies are hidden, dig them up, put them on display, contribute your fair share of Mortimer Beaufort's downfall. See, this is the thing about this show. For a good amount of my watching, I'm here for the romance. But then you put an evil rich man in front of me who mistreats his children. Now I'm putting the romance on the side, and I want to see an uprising. Bring him down. Organize, mobilize, arm yourselves, and get activated because this man needs to go. And the thing is, Mortimer is smug and he gloats about winning during the will reading. Elaine is smug and she's gloating when Ruby Bell is distraught and getting kicked out of school. So if you're not only moving with malice, but you're smug about that, oh, I don't need you to just lose in season 3. I need it to be painful. Vincenzo series finale, painful. Piacon yanking the cable, painful. Remick it getting boinked with the guitar painful. In real life, I don't think you need to make a spectacle out of defeating oppressive, evil people. You just get it done, and that's that. In fiction, it's fictional entertainment, so entertain me. And actually, I'm not even remotely finished because Alice Campbell, the fake charitable do-gooder, you are an ally to oppression. If you want to take dirty money, you're enabling the status quo. I don't care. A lot of charity is just a money laundering PR scheme for rich people anyway. She is not who she thinks she is. The mask is off. Because if you're willing to throw a good, kind-hearted girl out like she's yesterday's compost so you can keep getting dirty money from a dirty old man named Mortimer Beaufort, your work means nothing to me. Your do-gooder reputation is little more than a facade, a house of cards that's easily collapsed by a heavy sigh. See, I could never write Maxton Hall because this show would go so far off the rails. It would go very Benoit Blanc whodunit, where we know who did it, but they're right, so we just let them get the job done. You cannot put this many evil, hypocritical rich people in front of me, moving like supervillains, and then expect me to still be thinking about the romance. And now, perhaps controversially, I have a few words for James Beaufort. I'm sorry, I have to do it. This whole thing of Mortimer buying up Ruby's mother's bakery and then firing her on top of the matter of getting her scholarship taken away and helping to get her kicked out of school, the bakery part in particular, that was a very specific threat that Mortimer had made to James all the way back in season 1 when he was telling James to stop seeing Ruby. When James and Ruby got back together in season 1, the finale. And he explained that his father had threatened to ruin Ruby's life or else. Did he or did he not omit the very specific threat Mortimer had made about Ruby's mother's bakery? Because when I was rewatching season 1, before rewatching my season 2 press screeners for the first time, and I got to that scene, that was yet another thing that stood out to me, in addition to the aforementioned photograph of Ruby and Predator Graham, was that James failed to give Ruby all of the information he had so that she could make a fully informed decision. Because Ruby, she's the type of girl where if Mortimer is being aggressive to her the way that he has been through these past 2 seasons, she will grin and bear it. She will try to figure things out with James. She's a good person with a kind heart.
Does having a kind heart make you a good nurse?
She does not have the full insight of what type of supervillain she's really up against. But if James had told her he threatened your mother's bakery, maybe she would have moved differently. And by maybe, I mean definitely. Are we just conveniently forgetting that Ruby was self-flagellating all over season 1 with trying to raise money for her father's stairlift? You don't think that her family is her main priority? Now, don't get me wrong. James is nice. He's a very compelling love interest. Those two have great chemistry together, but they just started up together. Her family has been her family, and a loving one at that, for her entire life. So yeah, I'm going to need James to make amends with not just Ruby, but her whole family, because yes, Mortimer Beaufort is public enemy number 1, but if you're going to go up against an evil CEO, you need to come prepared. Doesn't everyone know that by now?
Ferre, Armani, and Versace.
You can have one, James, because you're still a child. Pretty much. Yeah, child adjacent. But season 3, you're transforming from a boy to a man when you save the girl, save her family, and save the world by destroying your father. It's now a public safety concern. It's a health hazard. He's too dangerous to be left out and about. I don't fully understand some of the choices about the season 2 finale with having Ruby get kicked out of Maxton Hall and Graham getting arrested the way that he does with everyone seeing it. Lydia has been saying how, oh, it's not the right time to tell her father that she's pregnant. It's not the right time to reveal her relationship with Graham. Well, girl, call me John M. Chu because it's time to step up to the streets and make these things known.
Next week, come on.
After all the support Ruby gave you, are you really not going to be her ally now? It doesn't even feel like a teen drama anymore. It feels like a battle with strategic sabotage and violence. Executions, please. You know, I can make jokes about the material, but the sad reality is there will probably be no deaths in season 3. And that's how you know I didn't write this show.
Our friendship is built on our mutual distrust of England.
I mean, clearly, I was already invested since I bothered to review everything, but now I will definitely need to see season 3 because we have a clear finish line, it's within reach, and I need to see Mortimer Beaufort's downfall. So help me, if you invite him to your wedding, because we know that James and Ruby are endgame, no one was ever questioning that, I will send folks in to make a scene. No forgiveness, no redemption. I want revenge. I want to see downfalls. I want to see singing. This story needs to have execution.
We'll give you half now, half later when it's done.